Okay, let's do this thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my AEW Collision review. A lot going on in this show tonight for Collision. Some would say the A show right now when it comes to AEW in general. Some would say it's better than Dynamite, which there's a lot I would agree upon that too. But with a big main event tonight of CMFTR versus the House of Black 46-man tag titles. I know they had promos from everybody in the get-go. For the start the intro from the Acclaim, Christian Cage, Punk and FTR, which they had the pyro shootout as they hyped up All In and All Out. They started off with Ricky Starks, who was interviewed by Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring. Basically, Starks had that belt from last week when he whipped Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with it. Schiavone basically says, you've been suspended for 30 days from AEW for beating up a 70-year-old man. Starks basically said there's consequences to actions, and basically that's what happened to Steamboat. He blamed him for costing the match and the world title, and that's why he said he had to beat his ass. He basically said this is blood on CM Punk's hand, and he's got a manager's license, so he'll be here every week while he's suspended since he has a manager's license, and this is his show, his legacy, and everyone's going to respect him right now. And he was gonna, threaten to whip Schiavone with it, but he left up out of there. Um, Basically, Stark says this company, he'll set it all on fire, and he's gonna start next week doing that. So, people gonna learn that nobody doesn't like him on Dynamite or Collision as he walked off. Then, so Stark's very good promo out there. I feel like Stark is getting better on Collision ever since he got off of Dynamite. So I am enjoying him more and more. Um, Good promo though. I probably thought he'd be back after Punk later on, but doing this whole 30-day suspension. He basically said he has a manager's license, so he'll be here next week. The Acclaimed went against the Iron Savages. Well, I think they were called Bear Country at first. They had a Jack Jameson. Listen, I've seen Bear Country. Well, now it's the Iron Savages now. Um, in the past, but they were just getting squashed. Of course, the Acclaim came out rapping, holding Billy Gunn's boots. Talking about Lizzo and Mitch McConnell or whatever else they were rapping about out there. A good match, I should say. It's probably the longest time I've ever really even seen Bear Country or Iron Savages. So at least they gave him some time out there. Obviously, the Acclaim won, and then they talked about how they held up, Billy Gunn, and they wanted to say that the Acclaim is back and that people still love you, Billy Gunn. So they're trying to get him back. Crowd was very hyped for the Acclaimed out there, so they were trying to get the power of Billy Gunn's boots to somewhat to convince him to come back to the company since he quote unquote walked out or retired technically, but you know they said they love Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed, so you know obviously they're just building this for Billy Gunn to eventually come back to the Acclaim. Bullet Club Gold was in the back. I swear to God, it's too many sub factions. And when Jay White was saying we're the most elite version of the Bullet Club, I actually thought he was talking about David Finlay in New Japan. Honestly, some would call him the Jay White light over there. When he said like the most elite version of it, I didn't even think he was talking about the Bucks. I actually thought he was talking about the Finlay Bullet Club or the War Dogs. Something, whatever it goes. Some would say like the discount version of Jay White over there, but they were talking about the Bucks, and they said they have the greatest brother tag team in this group, and I guess that the Guns said they're gonna take on the Young Bucks this Wednesday on Dynamite, which I know they're building up to the whole FTR versus Bucks match, which I've said it before. I think I said this in a Dynamite review if I last Wednesday, but I still believe they should have did this last year. I think they should have done it when FTR had all those belts and the Bucks had the AEW tag titles, and it should have been a winner take all. But then they want to do that whole 6-man thing, and apparently the Bucks didn't want a job or do business with FTR. Apparently, that's what's been said, and maybe because FTR is more over than them. But given I guess everybody has new deals now, maybe they're willing to do business this year if they even put FTR over. I don't know, but I still think it should have been done last year. Um, right after that, Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale went against Mercedes Martinez and Diamante, which, yeah, I got to say, man, good to see Mercedes Martinez and Diamante getting some TV time because I don't even remember the last time I've ever seen. Well, I've seen Mercedes Martinez sporadically, but I remember the last time Diamante was ever on TV. To be honest with you, and unless she's on ROH, but this was a pretty good tag match. Diamante, even though I don't think the ref even saw or tried to do his best not to see Diamante help pull leverage for Mercedes Martinez to get the pin over Willow and whatnot. So they won the match from there. So I guess one of them will be going for that TBS title. Maybe Diamante. I know Mercedes already had the chance, but at least they got a tag feud going on with these two. So not bad. At least they're getting some TV time. Toni Storm was in the back, and I enjoyed this interview even from last week too about her. Telling hey, I don't have the title anymore. It's been horrible. I'm gonna do something. I feel a little better now. My friend Saraya is in there. And, Lexington, you have to tell Tony Storm that, Britt Baker could be in there. And, you know, um, Carl Sheeta could be in there too. Carl Sheeta's already in, given she's a champion, but had to compete. That it still doesn't make sense in this fatal 4-way weird tournament thing. The champion has to compete to qualify. Doesn't make any sense, but, basically, Tony Storm basically said they're all backstabbing little girls. And he says, you know what? This interview's over. I don't want to hear it anymore. And even threw a shoe at Lexi Narian when she ducked it. So, Tony Storm right now, I am enjoying these backstage promos of her kind of losing it ever since she lost the title. Samoa Joe went against Andrew Everett. Samoa Joe beat Andrew Everett very fast. Samoa Joe basically cut a promo after that, talking about, the real world's champion. And he laid out the challenge to CM Punk from last week. And CM Punk hasn't said anything. Basically saying he's acting like a real bitch. And, I've given you courtesy, mercy of letting me know what's going to happen. But since you don't want to give me an answer, I'm going to have to convince you for an answer, which I think we already know where this is going to go with Samoa Joe later into the night, which, come on, I'm sure everybody saw that coming. But, he's still making his challenge for All In to face CM Punk for that real world title right now. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out next. Basically talking about North Carolina, saying Michael Jordan was not the greatest, and LeBron, saying he's better than Ric Flair. That, talking about Darby Allin then, that he will not win this TNT title. He will not get it off of him. But the next, Arn Anderson came out. He doesn't have Wardlow anymore with him, but he had his son, Brock Anderson, and talked about, this is horseman country. These are hollow grounds, and called Luchasaurus a sea monster then, and told Christian Cage, I could have done this 20 years ago and take that title from you. But Christian Cage, hey, it's no more open challenges, all right? And I made you relevant by leaving you a pool of your own blood. But Arn basically sent Brock to the ring to go against Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is very dominant in this match, no surprise. And he was beating the hell out of Brock Anderson, too. But, his thing, I know they said Darby Allin does have an open challenge, or he will be going for the TNT title, which I just don't know why they're announced him versus Christian, and I'll get to that in a second. But right after Luchasaurus won, Darby came out with his skateboard, hit Luchasaurus with it, and Darby basically said, talk about being a dinosaur for 65 billion years and whatnot, that basically have a skateboard up his ass the entire time. Darby basically he's going to challenge Christian next week, which, maybe it'll be some weird finish next week, but, aren't you just going to face Christian at the All Out pay-per-view for the TNT title? So that's what I would assume. Darby, man, he's in 2 different feuds right now between Dynamite and Collision, and I will say he did get his face kicked in by security. If everybody saw that video, that was I know probably by accident, but man, that was a big-ass kick he took to the face from security when they were doing that chase after Fox on Wednesday. But yeah, obviously that builds up for this title match for the TNT title. I enjoy Christian promos every week too. Powerhouse Hobbs came out, which, I thought his promo was, I don't know. I thought it was okay, but I get what he was trying to go for. And talk about All Out, saying he didn't really know gifts from QT with the gold chain, even though he was wearing it. And he inflicts violence, and the only thing he needs right now is the Book of Hobbs. He doesn't want anyone's help, and the next chapter is called Redemption. So he must redeem himself after losing that TNT title and the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and that he's going to call out the Redeemer, Miro. Miro came out. Next thing you know, Solo and Camarato, but we don't have an Agogo and no QT but just QTE. And they attacked Miro, so I should say Solo and Camarato attacked Miro. I know you get the joke, but yeah, they attacked Hobbs. Miro, no, they attacked Miro. Miro basically cleared him out, got in the ring. Hobbs hit him with a spine buster, and then just left his book on him, on his chest and whatnot. So Hobbs versus Miro does sound like a big hoss fight for All Out. Like I said, the promo was kind of gotta work on that with Hobbs. Like I get what he was going for, but it wasn't really that great of a promo at the same time too. But I do look forward to that match. Um, Next, Jim Ross came out for the main event. I guess JR had a lot of travel problems getting here today, but he made give Jim Ross one thing, man. Even in this state of the game, JR will do whatever it takes. Somehow, some way, he will make it to the show, and he will be on commentary. No matter how bad it gets, JR always finds a way to get there. You have to give him all the credit in the world. And like I said, JR sounded great here on commentary, which I think it's best maybe they could just save him for the big main events. Basically, he was almost there for almost like the second hour of the show since this main event started, like about what, 8:20 over here. So it was a very long main event. But you know, obviously I felt the crowd was a little bit 50-50 with Punk this week. But yeah, CMFTR, which, I know he had that what was it, that Hollywood strike is going on. I don't really have much to say about that in general. I could, but that's too much to explain. I don't know. It's not like a lot of TV shows have been really good right now, especially Disney. So maybe they should be on strike. I don't know. Well, maybe we could just come to Disney and their shows, especially Marvel. But that's a different story for a different day. But yes, House of Black, CMFTR for the AEW 6-man tag titles. Like I said, this is a very long main event. This ate up damn near, or apparently the total time was damn near, 30 minutes, 27 minutes? But it ate up the rest of the show. It was a very good match. I figure we already know who's gonna win from here. I did enjoy Punk and Black kind of doing the whole Indian style thing, and sitting down Indian style, which we've seen both of them do that with their little legs crossed. I thought that was pretty cool. But like I said, the main event ate up the rest of the time. Samoa Joe ended up grabbing Punk and pulling him into the crowd by choking him out. Even though the camera didn't see it, they had to show it in a replay. Because then, they had Julia Hart, the witch doctor, there, basically distract Dax, I believe. Um, I think they even missed Brody King doing his finisher, I believe, but he did his finisher and he beat Dax, and House of Black still retained the AEW 6-man tag titles. I don't know. It's like when it comes to AEW production, sometimes they damn near miss a lot of spots. I even said that Wednesday when they even pulled they pulled um what's his name mask, Pentagon's mask, and didn't even see it until probably like the second time when the replay happens. So I'm like, I didn't even see his mask get taken. So I was wondering what they were talking about, but they pulled his mask off. But like I said, the main event was really good. Um, I'm not surprised they took up a lot of time and whatnot, given this was a title match. Even though there was really no build to this title match, honestly, they just announced this match last week and it just happened. It's not like they really had CM Punk and FTR explain why they were going over after these 6-man tag titles. This match just happened because it just happened. That's it. And this was just for Samoa Joe to come out and attack Punk and give House of Black out to retain the 6-man tag title. So I kind of figured they weren't, CMFTR weren't going to win anyways. Like, come on, FTR's got to worry about Wembley right now, and they are the tag champions. And CM Punk is technically the real world's champion, so we'll see where that goes. And obviously, he's feuding with Samoa Joe right now. So we got a new House of Black was going to retain the titles anyways. But Collision was pretty good. I don't think it was a bad show. Would you say it's better than Dynamite? For multiple reasons, yeah. Given the booking of that show last Wednesday, but Collision was pretty good tonight, so I did enjoy the main event. Samoa Joe going after Punk. Um, Starks' promo was pretty good too. So pretty good stuff on the show. Darby and Christian. Um, yeah, so it was a lot of stuff I did like off of Collision tonight. But other than that, though, that's all I really got to say. Comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and check out any other reviews that are online right now. So I'll see y'all then. I'm out. Peace.